Welcome to another bonus episode of Bravo and Blaze with Jenny Blaze. Today we have a very special guest, the latest star out of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Please allow me to introduce creator and comedian Alexander Rodgers. Welcome, Alexander. Do you go by
Thank
Alexander
you.
or Alex?
Either or, Alex is fine. Thank you
Okay.
so much for having.
Oh, it's my pleasure. So I did quit talking about this show that we're going to talking about, but I'm making an exception for you because you made your national debut on television this week. Is that correct? On The Real Housewives
That
of
is
Beverly
correct.
Hills. Yes, what season are we in? 13? Episode,
14.
oh, 14. Episode 3, Life's a Beach. I was just watching this week and I go, oh my God, I'm supposed to record with him because we just met literally in person 2 weeks ago. I swear to God, I might be a witch. Do you know that that night that we met, we went to Schwartz and Sandy's, and 5 days later, they announced they were closing?
I know you were like the last person to really be there. Like that is incredible.
Weird, right? I think I might be a witch. But I see you on there and I'm like, oh my gosh, I know him. We're supposed to record. So I'm so glad that you reached out. And it's weird because we found out that we've been following each other for a long time. I do remember your account used to come up all the time. And now it doesn't come up in my feed as much. So I am mad at Instagram for that. But I'm glad that I saw you because I went to the Campfire live show at the Bourbon Room in LA. You came out and you opened up, and immediately in my head, I'm like, oh my God, this man is so funny and I love him. So then when we went out after the show and we met up, I wanted to know everything about your comedy because you said like you didn't even prepare for that short little monologue you did. I thought like that is an art and a craft, and I was thoroughly impressed. I loved it. I even bought the book that you recommended, Kevin Griffin.
I'm so glad. I'm acting like it's my book, but like I'm so glad that like you. I really hope that you get out of it what I got out of it. I really do. I really do. It is a great read, and she is a titan in the industry.
Yeah. Believe it or not, the reason why I started my podcast was because I love stand-up comedy and I wanted to learn how to do that, but I didn't know like where to even start. So someone suggested I start a podcast and now here we are. So I'm so glad that you're here. I wanted to know, did you know you were going to be on this week's episode of Beverly Hills?
I had no clue. I had no
You had
clue.
no clue. Actually, wait, technically that was so that clip that you were in was at BravoCon. So Bravo already owns that
Yeah.
thing.
They own that. And when you go in, you sign waivers. When you
Yeah.
order your tickets, like they let you know, like you're going to be filmed, dressed to impress. But like it, I don't feel any kind of a way of, oh, they're using it. And they actually used it in season 13 on the reunion, but on Peacock.
Oh, the
They used that same question.
extended scene?
Yes, in the extended scene on Peacock. So this is the second time they've used it, but the first time nationally, because the first time it was just on Peacock.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So what was going through your mind when you were watching? Was it just like in your mind you're thinking, I'm watching a regular night of Beverly Hills, and then you see yourself? Like what?
Well,
What was that like?
I'm a reviewer, so I was reviewing the show, and it was so funny because literally a minute before they got to me, one of my followers messages me and like, "You're on Housewives of Beverly Hills." And I was like, oh, they must be using that clip again because I could tell where the conversation was going. It had been there on the previous reunion. So I was like, oh, okay, they're going to bring me up again. And sure they did. And they used the
Oh my
clip again.
gosh. What do you think about your question being such a point of contention between Kyle and Dorit?
I have been reviewing reality shows for 10 years, probably Housewives of Beverly Hills for 5. I have my own podcast called Pop Roast. This was utter and complete guerrilla marketing. This was by design. I'm a comedian. My dear co-host is a humorist as well. And so we were going over what to ask. Like I asked Mia Thornton, will you be able to keep your timeline of events straight this season?
Ah!
So we were asking soundbite questions. So
Yeah,
this was absolutely like I can't believe the stroke of luck that it did, but it was
you
supposed
nailed
to
it.
be a gotcha question, like Andy would ask on Watch What, well,
Yeah,
like Andy's writers would write for him to ask
yeah.
on Watch What Happens Live.
Ah, is that your goal, maybe?
To have a late night show, that would be cute. I
Yeah.
don't want to be Andy Cohen because I'm already 6'4". I'd have to shrink. But
He is like shockingly shorter in real life when you see him. Like it took me aback a little bit the first time.
I don't think I'm trying to think. I lived in New York for years. I'm sure I've seen him and Andy Cooper. My friend actually went to Anderson Cooper's like party. Like they like really know them. I was always like kind of in, kind of out of that world. But I was never that important to like be invited to something.
Oh, you're
No, it's
absolutely
fine
very
because
important.
now I get to take the piss out from behind the scene, or now I get to go to BravoCon and I don't care.
Right? I kind of love it about BravoCon. Like I feel like I don't know, it's like a playground when we're at BravoCon.
I had the most fun. I definitely felt like I was the belle of the ball. Like when I asked that question, like the thunderous applause in the audience, you can kind of hear it on the clip. And then like Garcelle saying, "Yes, I'd like to know that too."
Oh my
Like
gosh.
some of
Yeah.
those clips you can see it, some of them you can't. Sutton is going, "We are not worthy. Thank you so much." Like it set that stage on fire. So that is why Kyle was so pissed because she was like, everybody became the peanut gallery.
Yeah.
Like those
Yes.
that like Garcelle and Sutton were like, "Thank you." And Anne Marie, I'm telling you, she whipped that ponytail around and looked at me. She was like, "Oh my God." But I'm sorry, like I paid how much to be there?
Yeah, you
Like
can ask whatever question.
$4,200.
42.
$4,200.
That's
Well,
it.
well the
That's all you spent?
the tickets were like 2,400.
I know. Then
Then you
travel,
then your
food,
travel.
lodging.
I did first class trip there because I can't, have these housewives outdo me. I have to have a brand new outfit. I had to get a new mackage coat because all the crap I talk about these ladies, I have to show up dressed to the nines. I can't show up looking like I'm on the egg money. Girl, I did a GoFundMe for a $3,000 outfit. Yes, I did.
You did?
Yes, I did.
Oh my God, I love that. I need to
Well,
take
I
notes.
never purported to be rich. I only
Yeah.
purported to be funny.
And that you are. So I have another question about your clip. What do you think about on the after show, Dorit referring to you as a quote unquote troll?
Well, I'm going to give Dorit a little grace right now because she's going through a tough time. But I would say Dorit also would really be an authority on trolls. Look at the father of her children. Look at PK's original teeth, if you want to talk about a troll. And also, let's talk about how he's bankrupted people. Let's talk about his
Oh,
financial history. That is a troll. So she would be the authority on trolls since she chose to conceive with one. Since she chose to pass
ooh.
those teeth on down to her kids, she is an authority on trolls. I will listen to an elder. She's in her 50s or 60s.
Is she
Her six looks it.
50?
She looks a preserved 57. I mean, she looks great for 57. I want to look as good as her at 57. I do.
I need to look up Dorit's age now. Oh my gosh. Okay, so what are your thoughts on the other ladies? Like, who's your favorite? Who do you dislike? Who do you root for?
The only one I disliked was Diana Jenkins. I enjoy, like, I make fun of all of them, but I watch the show because I love them. I don't make fun of people I genuinely don't like. So, like, understand, I may make some jokes, but like, I like I really do like all of them. All of them for different reasons. I mean, Kyle, because she is an amazing manipulator and producer on this show.
Yes.
I mean, hell, she's given me some airtime. So thank you. Thank you. For real, dead ass. I'm getting mileage out of this like crazy. Dorit, definitely those fashions. That one
Yes.
season she was wearing the all black with gold Versace, stunning, stunning. Um, Garcelle for being a working actress and an anchor of the show.
Hmm.
Sutton for being delightfully both like detached and aloof, but yet when she needs to be business and with it, she is there for you and has that Southern mama sense.
Hmm.
So I love how she can be the dichotomy of both. Erica Jane for teaching us how not to live. I mean, I'm going to do a little routine. Now, I just don't know why Erica let him live. Why did she let him live? I'm sorry, you marry a man like that. They've got a good, it takes 18 months for life insurance to vest normally. So give them a good 3 years after that. To the day, if you want to be poetic, because men never remember these things.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny.
I'm sorry. Had I married a coot like that, he would have had a great 5 year run. But he would have been in the dirt before he got to really scamming. I would have been able to pay off a little Ponzi with the life insurance and enjoy the rest of my days in Pasadena. What was she thinking letting him live? But that's no good deed going unpunished. And believe you me, she regrets it every day in that miniature kitchen. She's like, why the God? I had chance after chance. And her mama somewhere saying, and you know you did.
Oh my gosh, I love you so much. So tell me more about yourself. You said you have a podcast. You told me about how you got started in comedy. What else should I know about you? Because you're amazing.
Um, I love to do reality TV reviews. I started in stand up and then I started doing TV show reviews to develop an audience. And then as time went on, I realized I like doing this kind of more
Yeah.
than stand up, or basically, this is now how I do stand up, which is why I'm like, I don't need to write and act and remember it. I will have certain bullet point jokes that, like, if I'm going to bring up Nene Leakes, we're going to bring up the wig. We're going to bring up the different noses. Like there's certain staples about
Yeah.
people, literal staples sometimes. Sometimes they're removed, sometimes they got to get put back in. But that is why I enjoy it now, because it is a fresh conversation every time. And you can include people rather than with stand up. It's like, no, you're heckling me, rather than it's like, oh, you have a point too. Let's talk about it.
Oh my gosh, I
And then
totally agree with
show
you.
my show with Chris, which is called Pop Roast, we've been doing that for 6 years, and we just talk about all things pop culture, from music to housewives, some things urban, some things not so urban, and we go to BravoCon together, and we have been having a blast for the past 6 years.
Ah, that sounds so fun. How did you become co-host with this person? Is like this a long time friend, or how
He
did you?
he's he was watching the show at first, and I used to do something called the Auntie Playlist on Periscope, where back on Periscope you could play music and there wasn't any copyright. And so I would
Oh,
just play like good old like cookout style black family music, and he would be in the chat grooving. And then we realized we lived near each other from like the things that we would say, because we both realized we lived in New York, and
uh-huh.
then both realized, oh, we live in Harlem. Oh my God, we live 6 blocks from each other.
Oh my
And so
God.
we ran into each other on the one train and went out for a drink at Harlem Public. And I was like, oh my God, this guy is hilarious. And so I said, you've got to do a video with me. So first we did a couple movie reviews, and those didn't do anything. And then he suggested, let's do a Hot Topics video. And child, that first day, it got like 10,000 views in 3 hours. And I called him and I was like, this is something. We have to do something with this. And we've been filming ever since.
Wow, that's so great. I love that story.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you, what are your goals as a creator?
Oh,
Short term
uh,
and long term.
to keep it going and to retire off of it. To be able to really do this permanently as a living, retiring off of it, like maybe pulling back when I'm in my 60s, but I'm in my early 40s now, so I've got a lot of years left where I really do love this. I
Hmm.
would say that to really be able to be like, this is what I do, this is it, this is all. I definitely want to intertwine it with other businesses, but I just want to keep doing this.
It is so fun, right? It's kind of addicting. It's like therapy for me. Do you
It
find?
is, and I went to the Academy of Performing Arts at like 14, so I've been doing this all my life. So there's a level of this is kind of the one thing I'm good at.
I didn't know that about you. That's amazing. Wait, so what was your like main talent that you were focused on? Was it
Theater.
comedy? Okay,
No,
just
theater. It
theater
was
in
acting,
general. Acting.
acting. And that let me know I am a good actor. I don't like words in my mouth and I don't like memorization.
Yeah,
Like I am one of those like the writer cannot be attached to the words if they're going to cast me. Because I'm like I'm gonna get the gist of what you want, and
right.
then my emotion is going to carry it the rest of the way.
So do you ever do improv?
Yes,
Where do you do
I
improv?
I did it at UCB for a while and the People's Improv Theater. I never made it to like the main stage because it gets very politicky.
Oh, really?
And yeah, and it's also very expensive. And I did not have the money or the following at the time. And now that I have a little more of both, it becomes like, well, why do I want to perform at your theater and make you money? I can book my own stage. You see, like I can go work with Kempire.
I really love that you were at that show. You guys did really well together on stage. I liked it a lot.
I am so grateful that he invited me to open for him. And this is why openers are so important.
Do you have any shows coming up?
Comedy shows.
Comedy shows, live shows, anything?
I know we're going to be doing the podcast at some point this weekend, and I do videos on my YouTube every day, but like I really enjoy doing online more than like live is fun, but online pays more.
Yes, online is more fun, I think, actually, because you don't have to like leave your house.
But I like leaving my house and getting dressed up and like it
Really?
can really be fun to have like a great audience like we had that night.
Yeah, that was fun. And I don't usually go to things like that, so that was a good
I'm
time.
so glad you did. It was kismet.
Yeah.
You are a witch.
I know. Thank you. That's all we needed. Well, thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad we got to record.
You can find me on YouTube at Alexander Rodgers. Also search for Pop Roast, which is our podcast. It's also on my channel. And I'm on Instagram as Alexander Rodgers as well, and TikTok as Alex D. Rodgers, RODGERS.
Yay. Thank you.